Hey, Giant fans. Welcome to the Giant Insider Podcast. My name is Jerry Foley. I'm the senior editor of the Giant Insider newspaper. And with me, as always, is the beat writer of the Giant Insider, Chris Bisignano. Well, Giant fans, the good news is a couple things. One, if you have a heart condition and you got through yesterday's game, the good news is you probably have a pretty strong heart and you don't need to go to a stress test anytime soon. The other thing is, and Chris is going to maybe I get the Buffoon of the Week award for this, but the Giants are still mathematically alive in the playoff picture. We have 4 games left. They won a game that none of us expected them to win. I thought they were going to lose 31-10, but they came away victorious, and it was not an easy victory, to say the least. It was hard fought, to say. It was definitely hard fought, but I can't stop smiling because when the Giants win, even in a season like this where they're not likely to make the playoffs, it still feels good. But Chris, you were there. I just wanted to get your reaction to this game because it was it was one for the ages, my man.
Yeah, it really was, man. What a turn of events, being up by 10, and next, the Bears on the Philly special tie it. I spent the last
we can't call it that. We have to give it a different name. But go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're kind of right with that.
Scumbag special.
I spent the last few minutes downstairs in the corner of the end zone watching the game, and man, I tell you, the momentum swing was unbelievable. And then when we won the toss, we got when we got the ball in the overtime, and man, what the intensity down on the field and the build up when we got the ball in our hands, it was just, and then going down the field, Barkley with the big run, and then Eli hitting Shep a few times to move the sticks, and Rosas, who's in my opinion a Pro Bowler.
Oh, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, with the big field goal. I tell you, being down the field, man, and watching it, it was a surreal moment. It was an unbelievable win.
Yeah, you sent a couple of nice clips on Twitter of guys coming off the field. So hopefully you can do that again. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Mike Murphy, the head of security for 1,000 years with the Giants, was me and him, and we're like high-fiving guys coming off the field, this and that. It was a good feeling for the Giants organization. The 4th down play there with that little big, that deep skinny post, they looked like the Jackrabbit knockdown.
Yeah.
And then I'm listening to the Jackrabbit today, speaking to the media, and he went on about how Coach Shermer called that last defensive play, and it just made me very happy. Little things like that make me very happy, Foley, right?
Yeah.
I love when a head coach is involved in everything, not just some buffoon with a big chart in front of his face like a certain other coach we had, not getting involved in the defense because I'm a so-called offensive guy.
Yeah, he used to say all he did was swing the whistle around his fingers.
Right. And then you have guys like Jason Garrett who don't do crap for both ends of the ball. But, it was funny, Jerry, just quickly get into it. I asked Sherman last week in a presser about how much does he get involved with the defense? And he told me, he goes, I'm in his ear all the time talking about the defense. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And then when you hear Jackrabbit saying today that I was telling Coach Shermer to go double bracket, he started calling 51, and on the last play of the game, he called 0, which was the 0 coverage in the back end. It was just Jackrabbit on man. And, things like that just make me excited, Jerry.
Yeah.
Way to go, Coach Shermer. Way to get involved. I love that, Foley. I love that.
Before we get into the game, I just wanted to point out 2 of the most awesome names in not just Giant history, but NFL history. Their records went down yesterday. The one was Ali Haji Sheik, the kicker from the early 80s. Aldrich Rosas beat his field goal record. They had the longest field goal in Giants history.
Jerry, did that catch you by surprise a little bit when he said that yesterday?
Well, I always thought that, I remember the game. It was 1983. It was a Monday night game.
Well, that's because you're the Rain Man, but
right.
Go ahead.
But I remember because so I was 8 years old. And
right.
I was alive in a football pool, and I'd picked against the Giants because they were so bad. And my dad.
Did you say? Well,
listen.
Time out.
It's before the age of reason. I'm 8 years old. So my
He's
dad.
in a football pool, folks.
My dad was through my dad at work, and he wasn't happy because I picked against the Giants. Not that I played in the football pool. And I kept saying, "You think the Packers will win?" Because I'd rather win money at this point. The season's over. And Ali Haji Sheik kicked. I thought it was a 57-yarder, but apparently it was 56. So
Right.
I was surprised. I remember the game. I swear to God, I remember that game.
Oh, I believe you, bud.
And he nailed a 57-yarder yesterday, Rosas. And the other one, I can't believe this record stood this long, but I think it was 830 yards rushing, stood for 83 years. And Saquon Barkley broke Alphonse Tuffy Lehman's record from 1935. Lehman's went to Gonzaga. I didn't see that, but I know Giants history. And interesting fact, real quick, Lehman's was on the cover of the program for December 7th, 1941, D-Day,
Right.
when it was Lehman's Day, and then at halftime they announced all the military personnel meet in the concourse of the Polo Grounds because we had just been attacked. Anyway, 2 records went down yesterday, and good for Barkley, good for Roses, 2 awesome guys. But want to get into the game, bud. That first half, I mean, I have to talk about Eli because I sent out a tweet probably midway through the second quarter where I seriously thought that this was it. I've never seen him look so bad in my life. I thought he had time and he looked just rattled. He threw a pass with 2 hands. I've never seen that before. That was the worst I thought he's ever looked. And then, Eli and Odell, right? If you criticize them at all, you have the Giants Mafia come after you. So, I tweeted, hey, this looks like it could be it for Eli. And everyone just came after me. But, second half he rebounded and he looked like a different quarterback. But you brought up something on Twitter, and you texted a bunch of me and my idiot friends, or as you call the buffoon crew. You said, look, that's not on Eli. Odell didn't get to the spot, or the corner read the play. So, and then Amani Toomer said it after the game, like Odell needs to work on his craft a bit. He's immensely talented, but there are times where he doesn't run a lazy route, but doesn't get to the spot. But
No, he's not.
I don't know what you thought, buddy, but I thought Eli Manning was horrific in the first half yesterday.
Listen, he didn't play well at all. He was horrible in the first half. Yeah, he do a few balls. It looked like he was forcing it to 13 a lot too, right? I mean, he was targeted like 9 times or something in the first half. I think he completed 1 or something like that. He looked like he was really forcing the ball to Odell, and his
quarterback rating was 29.8 in the first half.
Now you look at the film, and you know me, Jerry. I'm like, I like to study the film, the plays over and over, blah blah blah. And that definitely, when he first threw that interception, that Fuller jumped. I got on Eli at first too. I was like, that is a bad throw. Fuller's reading the route, and that was a lazy route by Odell. It was not Eli's fault. And Odell, as great as he is, Jerry, Amani Toomer's 100% correct, because I look at all of Odell's routes during games, and he does run some lazy routes at times. He does, and that was a perfect example of it. That was supposed to be a slant, and he just did like 2 steps in and stopped, and Fuller jumped him. He jumped it. Yeah. Now, if he's running the proper route, Jerry, the worst you're going to have is an incompletion where Fuller might break it up, Odell can't come up with it, or you get a 9-yard gain, whatever it is. When you stop on the route like that, guess what? Yeah. You get a pick. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. So that was not a good effort by Odell on that route. He does have a tendency to get a little sloppy in some of his routes, and that was a good example of it.
Yeah, I think what shocked me about this game early on was how ready the defense was, and Ogletree made the big play to start the game. It was second play from scrimmage. They just looked like they were fired up, and one thing we've said all season long, bud, the Giants have flaws, and Coach Shermer has flaws with his play calling, clock management, but man, if they don't play for him, I mean, they came out like nothing to play for. You always have something to play for, but I thought this was going to be the week that the wheels came off, and they came out fired up. I thought the defense kept them in it. That score was 14-7 at half, but it felt like it was 4,000-7. I thought they can't win this game. This is horrible. They're not going to win, and the offense was horrific, and Eli was terrible, but the defense kept them in it. And maybe Ogletree heard us talking about him because he looked like he was shot out of a cannon yesterday and made a ridiculous interception, the one-handed pick. But I thought he played his best game as a Giant.
Jerry, he played his best game as a Giant, no question about it. Listen, Alec has even admitted he hasn't played that well. He's a stand-up guy, man. He busts his butt. He has admitted, during the week, in the locker room that, I haven't played my best ball. So he had a little inspiration going on this week. I tell you what, Jerry, looking at the film, the first interception was nice, right? The ball was basically thrown in his hands. He
jumped
showed those old.
Yeah, he leaped for it.
He leaped in the ball and he came down. Listen, that's not an easy play, guy throwing a pass like that.
Right.
And he showed his safety hands. Like, he used to be a safety when he started at Georgia, and then he went over to linebackers last year there, and obviously into the pros too. So he showed his good hands. But I tell you what, Jerry, the second interception was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, he made a great grab, right? He made like the Odell type one-handed grab.
Yeah.
Excellent athleticism, right? But I tell you what, he saved Landon Collins.
Yeah.
Because Landon Collins was toasted by Tariq Cohen once again, mind you. Okay? Tariq had like 3 yards on him. Alec, I was watching him. He looked over to his right, saw Cohen's route, broke to the right. Great route read recognition by Ogletree, and Chase Daniel threw it to the spot where he did not think Ogletree was going to be, which would have been 6 points. And Alec came down with a leaping one-handed grab. And so not only is it a great play by Ogletree, Jerry, Landon better buy him dinner this week.
Yeah, I was going to go offense first, but since you brought it up, Landon Collins had a rough game. And look, we've talked about it. He's great at the line of scrimmage, but he's not a cover safety. I mean, at some point you have to admit that he cannot stay with running backs. He struggles with tight ends. He's great at the line, but and I didn't know if you put the blame on him or on Betcher for being singled up. But then I don't know who else you single up with these guys. Like, you almost run out of players. Like, okay, go ahead, Landon, try it, because you can't put Curtis Riley on anybody. So he had a brutal game, Collins. I mean, he was chasing Cohen down the field, it seemed, all game.
Yeah, listen, the Bears Matt Nagy's a smart offensive mind, man. And when the Giants were, Betcher was a little more aggressive yesterday. He was A-gapping, blitzing a lot yesterday with the linebackers, especially Ogletree. And then he was doing it with the guy who came in for Ty Davis, the practice squad kid that we signed like 3 weeks ago. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name.
I know. Starts with an O. Starts with an O.
Yeah, it starts with an O and an E. Yeah, you're right. But and then when you get those 8 gaps and you got and then he had Landon covering in the flat. That's his responsibility a lot of times on these blitz packages. And I just don't. It's just a tough matchup for Collins. I tell you, like you said, Jerry, he's just not covering well at all. It's something to look at next year as far as just being like a Deion Buchanan and just staying inside, and because he's really hurting the team right now.
Yeah, he is. And I jumped to Collins, but I wanted to go back to kind of the flow of the game. It's 14-7. Like I said, it felt like it was 100-7 or whatever. And then 3rd and 23, and the Giants aren't doing anything. Shermer admitted after the game this was a giveaway play. Barkley gets the ball, somehow gets 22 with no holes. It was a ridiculous run. Changed the whole tide of the game. It's 4th and 1. They're at midfield. They decide to go for it. They give the ball Eli hits Ellison for 9, and then Rosas kicks his 57-yarder. The whole tide of the game changed there. You could feel it. I mean, this kid, and the game he had, he is absolutely incredible. He is the right pick for this franchise at the right time. I wrote it when it happened. He is everything we could have wanted, and he's got 954 yards rushing. I don't know what he has receiving now. He might be up to about 600 or so. I mean, he has a shot at breaking Eric Dickerson's rookie all-purpose yardage record. He is behind this line. He didn't have Jackie Slater on his team. I mean, he is ridiculous.
Yeah, that run right before the half was strictly him. Strictly him. He just creates so much, and he's a phenomenal talent. And you talk about tough. He got hurt yesterday. When Roquan Smith landed on his shoulder, he went to the sideline, and everybody was like, oh, the wind came out of everybody's sails in the stands. I was watching him. Of course, one of the advantages of being at the game, you could watch the sidelines. Right. And he was hurting. There was 3 guys around him. His shoulder was hurting. And next thing you know, we went into that tent, Jerry. And then he came out, and he played the rest of the half and the rest of that quarter in the overtime. Besides being great, bud, he's one tough dude. And he's just – listen, Jerry, Jerry?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I tweeted it. I was really happy. I don't know if everyone's going to agree with me, but I was so glad we took him over quarterback, and we got over 1,100 likes on it. I guess a lot of people do agree with me and you. He's just an unbelievable talent, but I'm glad he's going to be a Giant for a long time.
Yeah, so they go into half, and you feel pretty good about it if you're a Giants fan. Like, wow, they're still in this game, and we have Saquon Barkley, and it's like, hey, the coaching staff remembered that he plays for us. In the second half, he 3 plays right out of the half. First 3 plays to Barkley, gets about, 25 yards or so on 3 carries, looks phenomenal. And then a great play call. Manning flips it to Odell. Odell fakes like he's going to run it, jukes, throws off the wrong foot, 50 yards down the field to Russell Shepard, who's wide open, and Manning called it a 50-yard check down. And it's exactly what it was. He was going to run it.
Yeah.
He's a ridiculous athlete. And this is the stuff he does where you marvel at it. And, I know that some things that, the public doesn't because you're there. I understand Odell had a motivational speech at halftime.
Yes, he did. He came in and he gathered the team together and said, we have to lay it on the line. We have to win this game. Just listen, I'm laying it on the line here, man. I don't want to leave this field with a loss. And Jamon Brown, whatever you say, I'm going to say Jamon still, Brown. He said that it lifted the team, So once again, Jerry, not to get into it too much because we have in the past, but, to say Odell is not a leader, to say Odell is not liked in this locker room, whoever says that, whoever writes it, whoever reports it, is a total buffoon. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, they love him, and you could hear it after the game when they talk about him. And
listen, Jerry, I love the kid, man. I love the kid.
Yeah,
I know he does stupid stuff in the past, this and that, but I love the kid because he will run through a wall to win a game, and that's the type of athlete. And guess what, Jerry? That's the type of athlete Pat Shermer likes, my man.
Yeah. Yep.
Trust me on this. That's why he likes Janoris Jenkins big time.
Yeah.
He loves Jenkins Shermer because he's a gamer.
Yeah,
he's tough.
So, Giants get down later on. We skip a few series. Giants get down to the 1 on 4th and 1, and this is where I laughed yesterday because we're going back and forth texting about Eli and what's going on, and then he threw a pretty good pass, but in reality it was a 1-yard pass, but it was probably his best pass of the game because he actually had people in his face who just kind of threw it up in the air, and to a wide open Odell, and you could feel like, wow, the Giants they're going to win this game. This looks pretty good right now, and you never feel good with a lead. But game goes on, and they're up 27-17. We all know what happens. And license plate guy, and I'm going to pick on him a little because I tweeted at him yesterday, texts, Giants win, and he puts it all over his Twitter account. And I wrote to him, Joe, please stop this. Like, you got to be kidding me after last week. And he wrote to me, stop it. And then what happens? They get a field goal, and then the famous onside kick, where everyone wanted to kill Odell. So I'm writing the post game, like the kind of the wrap up, and I realize I have to change everything once this happens. So I rewind it. I'm getting text messages like crazy about the play. I rewind it. It didn't look as gross to me as it did to a lot of people. I didn't think Odell's play was that bad on that play. I thought Curtis Riley's was ridiculous.
Oh, God.
But Odell, and we can get into Curtis Riley too, but Odell's play, I didn't think it was that bad. It looked like he didn't dive at the ball, and he tried to swat it, but I don't know, man. I didn't react the way a lot of people did there.
Well, listen, Odell was confused when the ball got past the front wave, which, you're supposed to, there's one guy has responsibility, like one or two guys have responsibilities to block the front line. All right? You block the front line, the ball gets past the front line, and the second hands team, which was Odell, recovers the onside.
Let me guess. Curtis Riley took a bad angle.
So, you saw it. Riley blocked the wrong guy. I don't know what Riley was doing. He went to the left, and he left his man to rush right through, and now he's in front of Odell. So Odell kind of panicked. He's not a special teams guy, Odell. Let's not forget. He's a hands guy there. Okay. And he tried to swat it. He didn't know whether to jump on it, swat it, or he just panicked at what to do. He made the wrong read on an Odell. But to question his guts, to question his passion, to say he came up short on because he didn't want to get hit, it might be one of the most asinine things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that got killed last year with that ankle injury on a high throw by Eli, as usual. Okay? And now this year, you know, all these slant routes Odell runs, half of the times Odell throws it up high where he leaves Odell exposed to get drilled, okay, which he does numerous times. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to question Odell's manhood? I mean, I tell you what, you talk about buffoons. Buffoons. Do me a favor, folks. Whoever says this or wrote about it, go cover tennis. Go cover Roger Federer or something. Or go cover golf in Florida and shut up. You know nothing about the game. And me and Carl Banks were talking about it after the game. We were laughing our butt off about it. It's comical.
Yeah.
What people say.
Look at you name dropping Carl Banks. Me and Banks are hanging out.
I'm sorry I'm name dropping, but Carl's my man. You know that, Jerry.
No, that's
Carl's my man.
Those passes that you just talked about with Eli, one of the Buffoon crew on the text messages that you get now, Chris. He calls it my buddy. My buddy Matt calls it a hospital ball, the high ones that Eli throws. But anyway, Curtis Riley, you brought him up.
It's a good call. It's a good call, hospital ball. Yeah, I like that.
The play on the onside kick, he looked like he was fielding a punt and dropped it. The interception, the angle he took where he took out Jackrabbit on a play where I don't think the Bear was touched. They just blew the whistle. I think it was Cohen, where the receiver went down. And then he got up and ran because Curtis Riley ran into Jenkins and missed the Bear. I think it was Cohen. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. But he had such a horrible game. I said Curtis Riley makes C.C. Brown look like Emlyn Tunnell. Like, he is the worst safety I've ever seen. I don't know why Sean Chandler won't get more looks now. I know they use Chandler on special teams and as a corner. I get it. But they have to do something else. If they want to win these last four, he is beyond a liability.
Well, they finally got him out of there a few series yesterday. They put Chandler there once, Mike Thomas another time. Sherman was asked about it,
Yeah, Mike Thomas. We love Mike Thomas.
Yeah, I love Mike Thomas too. But he was asked about it, Sherman, and Sherman says, "Yeah, we're getting the right people on the field, the right time." Translate, yeah, we're finally starting to get Riley out of there. I don't quite know why it took 12 games, to be honest with you, Jerry. Finally get this guy get him off the field because he's hurt us way more than he's helped us, bud.
So Bears go down after the onside kick. You knew it was going to happen. They tie the game. Then in overtime, I mean, the kid again jumps on his big blue horse, says, not today, everybody. 29 yards down the right sideline on a very innocent play, first down. They get in the field goal range. Of course, Rosas now is Mr. Automatic. He blasts it. And then the Giants stop him. But they're the only team, Chris, that forced, I think, 3 fumbles on a drive and had the same team recover. I never saw anything like that. But on defense, man, you got to give him credit. B.J. Hill had 3 sacks. I mean, we always talk about Barkley. We talk about Lorenzo Carter, Will Hernandez. Hey, man, B.J. Hill was a find. This kid can play. And you said it. Damon Harrison was talking about him in training camp. And I was, one guy I was happy for was Olivier Vernon, man. I know he's been
he played well. Yep.
much maligned lately, and fans been getting on him. And I get it 100%. We're paying him a lot of money. But he had 2 sacks yesterday. He looked good. He looked better. Too. Yeah, he had
a few pressures too. Yeah, I was happy for. Listen, I got to know Olivier a little bit. I was happy for him, man. The guy cares. Trust me on this. The guy cares. Listen, I know it was a huge contract. I know people are down on him, and rightfully so. Listen, don't get me wrong. I was just happy he had a solid game. And I tell you, another kid, Jerry, yesterday who I liked in the limited snaps he played was another one of our draft picks. I'll get him with draft picks, that R.J. McIntosh.
Yeah, he almost got Daniels on one of those throws.
Absolutely, bud. He had the pressure in his face. I talked to him after the game in the locker room, and I said, "Yo, real close in that one." He goes, and I said, "What is the difference between last week and this week?" And he just says, "You know what? Last week I was still getting my legs, and I was nervous, man. It was my first NFL game. I was nervous. I'm going to admit it. This week," he said, "wasn't nervous, getting my legs back. And you know what? This looks like another. I mean, it's only a limited amount of time. Don't get me wrong, but I was watching him on film before, Jerry, and I liked what I saw with him.
Yeah. He's out of Miami, right?
Yeah. So you're talking about another kid, that Gettleman drafted. Of course, he had the illness and he's been out the whole year. But here's another kid now you could pencil in next year. Say, oh, all right, we got number 90 in this rotation too.
Yeah.
How about Kerry Wynn too, Jerry? I want him back in the worst way. What about you?
And next year he can't be fighting for a spot. He's penned in. Don't pencil him in. He's not gonna be fighting for a spot. He's a great reserve. You could feel the difference with him back yesterday. And I don't know what his final numbers were.
Right? Win.
Yeah. 100%. You don't know what his final numbers were, but seemed like he's always around the ball, making plays, making tackles downfield, and chasing guys. Yep. If a guy gets through the line, he's the one. It seems like he's making the tackle downfield. I love the kid. He's someone who needs to make the team right out of the gate next year.
Good special team player too.
Yeah, really good, and no questioning. And then, yesterday I tweeted that the play that, oh my God, the punt, Riley Dixon, and then it was Russell Shepard, and then Hamilton grabs it, and then Diassi downed it. It's funny, man. Guys, the Twitter followers are funny. I tweeted this was the best play in the history of Giant special teams. And I say that kind of laughing because the special teams have been so abysmal the last 5 years. By the way, Riley Dixon liked it and Michael Thomas liked it, the tweet. And then you get, no, the Reasons play in 1990 was way better. I'm like, I know. And then someone writes, oh yeah, you've never seen Renee Thompson. And to that person, no offense, but I lose more Giants knowledge in a bowel movement than most people have in their head. So please spare me facts from the past. I get it. I've seen all these guys play. It was just a funny statement because the Giants haven't made a play like that since Renee Thompson probably. So or Renee Thompson, however you pronounce it. But.
Some people are very serious on Twitter. They think everything you tweet is,
Yeah. And look, yesterday I tweeted that this could be the end of Manning, and everyone just got on me. And I thought, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but man, the way that first half was going, and the fact that Lauletta addressed, it was like, wow, what's going on? Shermer bumped him up to 2. Something's happening here. Maybe this is the game he gets in. I didn't think he was going to get it against the Bears just because of the Bear defense, but you never know. But dude, what a nice win. And there were times during that game where you're just like, I can't take this physically. Like my heart is going to beat out of my chest and just end up on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they win, it's like nothing. My wife asked me, can they ever just win like other teams? I said, no, they can't. It's impossible.
Well, it's unbelievable, I tell you what, Jerry, 2 nice wins this year, right? Against I know we played the Texans early in the year, but they're now 9-3. Their last loss was us, and we beat an 8-3 Bears team this year, right? So two pretty nice wins, and I'm sure people are going to be like, well, we played the Texans when they were 0-2. I understand that, folks. I know, It's sort of like the guy who, when I tweeted this morning about the onside kick, the typo came up inside kick.
I know.
And some buffoon decided to go, what's an inside kick?
Yeah.
Like he had, like everybody and their mother responded to me knowing it was onside, but there's always the one, buffoon who wants to play Dr. Zhivago,
the grammar police.
The Harvard grammar cop,
Don't worry, Chris. I blocked him already. I blocked him already. Don't worry about it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, probably.
I just called him a buffoon. I didn't know you even blocked him, Yeah. Like we got about 85 responses. Everybody talk about Odell, the onside, and then it's Dr. Harvard, the Twitter police guy, Oh, what do you mean by inside kick? Oh, okay, dude, you got me.
You're awesome.
Oh my God.
So listen, the win would have felt a lot better if the Giants got the job done last week. They'd be sitting at 5-7 with real hope, but there is hope now. And another one of the Buffoon crew, who's known as Giant Golfer on Big Blue Interactive, said to us, we have to break down all the wild card scenarios. That's not going to happen, Giant Golfer. There's no way that happens.
Thank you, Jerry. I thought we were actually going to do that.
No, but listen, I'm in, man. I think 8-8 gets in.
What are you in on? Oh, time out. What are you in on?
I think 8-8 gets in as a wild card.
So you think Chris, the Giants have a shot at the wild card?
If they win out, yes.
Well, if they win out, but you think we're going to win out?
Chris, we just beat the Bears. I mean, I don't know.
All right. You know what the key games? I really think we're going to win in Washington next week. I think that
Indianapolis,
that Colts game down the road.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, the Colts game down the road could be a problem.
100% because it's away. I think if they're 7-8 and they got Dallas at home, week 17, holy crap, man! Oh my God, that would be awesome. And just to be in it. I just want to be in it. That's it. Meaningful
Well,
football.
this is a different team since the bye week. I think Pat Shermer made a lot of positive adjustments since that during that bye week, Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
This is a different team, bud. This is a different team. They've played much better. They should be 4-0, but we're not going to get into that filthy crap down in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
What happened down there? So listen, it's just you look at the schedule. I'm gonna go with you a little bit on this. Just I'm gonna buy into you a little bit now, okay?
Yeah.
Because I know the Buffoon crew was putting on our group text today about we could do the wild card, we could do this, all right?
Yeah.
And I'm calling a Buffoon crew because you already labeled your friends the Buffoon crew.
No, we are.
Right?
We all are. Yeah, we're
all right. So I don't feel bad saying that. They know I'm not coming malicious.
No, we may get shirts made and wear it with pride.
Right. So I'm not. Let's win in Washington.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll see what happens down the road. But
all I know is
Washington, Tennessee. Excuse me, Jerry. Washington, Tennessee, at Indy and home against the Cowboys is left. So, hey, it's pretty interesting still. These guys are playing hard, bud. They're playing hard.
Yeah, I just think yesterday's win does a lot for this team. And to beat a team like that, even with Chase Daniels, that defense was very good. And, Barkley lit him up. He had 125 rushing, another 21 receiving. 11 out of 12 games where he broke the century mark from scrimmage. He's one of like 6 guys to do that or something. And if he does it again, he goes into third place. And then I think Dickerson did it 14 times or somebody like that, I think, as a rookie. But he's ridiculous, man. And what a weapon.
Oh, he's an unbelievable weapon, bud. Unbelievable. I tell you what, who's really playing well? Who's really playing well last 2 games is that Nate Solder over at left tackle.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah,
he's playing well. He did a great job on Mac yesterday. As a matter of fact, you look at the film. The first half, he went against Mac. The first half, and he totally controlled Khalil Mack. So Vic Fangio in the second half says, "Well, you know what? Forget this. I'm sick of looking at Solder. He threw Mac over the other side with Wheeler." The second half.
When you say Mac, you mean like the second coming of Lawrence Taylor, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, the second coming of Lawrence Taylor. Folks, trust me on this. The people who watch Lawrence Taylor, like me and Jerry did, you know the answer to that. To the younger generation here, who's picking up the Giants, who are in their 20s or whatever, who never saw Lawrence, trust me and Jerry on this one. Khalil Mack is a nice football player. He's a good player, man. I wish we had him. He is not 56.
Yeah, no one like him.
Nope.
All right, buddy. Time for the Buffoon of the Week award, and we each give one out. And I'm going to let you go first, my friend. Who is your Buffoon of the Week?
All right, I'm going to have to go off the field here, and I'm going to have to go with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, good pick.
Sorry, but he, the whole act there with the drop kick and lying to the Chiefs, hoping it would go away, and then the video comes out, and his career might be over. No one picked him up. I think he cleared waivers, and nobody picked him up. Thank God. Yeah, I don't think he could even be picked up right now. He's on the exempt list. Nobody's going to touch him.
Oh, because I saw from somebody that, I don't know if it was Schefter or somebody said nobody picked him up. So I didn't. Maybe you're right. Maybe someone can pick him up and not play him, but no team picked him up. So
right. Nobody's going to touch him. I was surprised the Redskins touched Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to touch Kareem Hunt right now. He's going to have to get his suspension or whatever the NFL is going to do with him. But Kareem, I hate to say it, my man, you're a talented young fella, but you are going to get the Buffoon of the Week for your actions. Not to mention now something else came down where you might have clocked somebody in a bar in Cleveland last June. Now to looking into that. So, yep, Kareem Hunt. Is it sort of like a little bit of a Plaxico incident where a team is thinking Super Bowl and boom, something happens to them in the middle of one of their star players?
Yeah, Jerry, I think it was 10 years to the day too.
That's pretty funny. I know one, shot himself in the leg, and this other guy, with beating up the female in the lobby, kicking him, whatever, So that's my Buffoon of the Week, bud.
That's a good one. Mine's going to be a little more lighthearted. I'm going to go with everyone who still believes that the Giants should have taken a quarterback over Saquon Barkley, and it's twofold. One, you're out of your mind, because if you watch this kid play, he is generational. He is the best draft pick the Giants have made since Lawrence Taylor. Yes, he is even a better draft pick than Odell. Better than Shockey's impact in 2002. This kid is the real deal, and is a good kid. And the reason why I say it's twofold is I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, you can get a running back in the third round. Look what the Chiefs did with Kareem Hunt." That's interesting, because character does matter. And when you take a guy like Saquon Barkley, you're picking not only the talent, but you're picking the person that he is too. So that is my buffoon of the week. Every Giant fan who believes that they should have still taken a quarterback, because this kid is absolutely ridiculous, and it's a blessing to have him.
Yes, it is. Yes, he represents the organization well.
All right, buddy. Any final thoughts on the game yesterday? Anything we didn't cover?
Oh, trying to think. What about you? Am I missing something?
No, I mean, we talked about
what came out to you? Like, what stood out to you a little bit that you,
besides the fact that we need to give the ball to Barkley a lot, and Beckham, and rinse and repeat the entire game.
Well,
I was happy with the defense, and for what they did in Philly, where they embarrassed themselves. I thought yesterday they kind of set the tone early, and I was impressed, because there's guys we're ripping on this defense. I mean, we're like killing Ogletree and Vernon every week, and this guy's not doing well. He's not doing his job, and we're hard on Collins too, because he's not good in coverage. But and you know what, B.W. Webb, man, I like him. I think he's a good corner, and I've said it before. He's earned a spot next year, and I'm not saying he's going to be a starter, but he's a pretty good player for someone who's bounced around so much. He's kind of holding his own, and it's a questionable pass interference call at the end of the game.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I mean, he had his arm on the guy, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, I just thought it was...
Okay, all right, Jerry. Yeah, he climbed a little bit with the arm. So if they want to call a hold, whatever, okay, I'll give it to you a little bit. But that wasn't catchable, bud. It wasn't catchable.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't.
Okay?
Yep.
I'm sorry. Sherman felt like me. I asked him about it in the presser. He was like, the way I saw it was uncatchable. Okay? And credit to Pat Sherman, too, because he played that angle this week, Jerry. You could tell the way the Giants were flying coming out of the gate, and he made a comment in his presser about the offensive line against the Bears defense. Yeah. And he made this comment of, well, I thought maybe we should have canceled the game. We didn't have a shot.
Good for him.
So that told me right there he used that angle all week.
I was going to say the other thing that came out of it was how well the offensive line played against that defense. I mean, they have some studs up there. I mean, Khalil Mack's not Lawrence Taylor, but he's a hell of a player. Leonard Floyd, Roquan Smith, the kid you like, the rookie who I think he played his college ball with Carter. They are loaded, and I think the thing that made me mad in that game was when they used the defensive tackle to get a touchdown. I just thought, it's not rubbing your face in it, but it is a little. I don't know, man. I find I got a problem with that, and just use your running back. You have to use a defensive tackle like he's the fridge. That was the most satisfying thing about winning that game, is that they did that play. It was a gimmick play. I'm sorry. It was a little rub it in your face kind of thing, and we came back and won. And I love the fact that we won that game because of that, and more than that, I mean, we're still mathematically alive. But I thought the offensive line held up, man. I thought they played well, and they're getting better every week.
I couldn't agree more, bud. Couldn't agree more. You gain 140-something yards on the ground against the number 2 ranked defense. Eli doing some things in the overtime, moving the ball through the air with Shep and all that. They did a heck of a job, especially considering they only had 100 yards in the first half, and they didn't move the ball at all. So great adjustments by Sherman. Great job by the offense in the second half. Great job by Ogletree. I thought Tomlinson was unbelievable yesterday. I thought he played really well. Hill played really well.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, I think Janoris Jenkins has really come on the last 3 weeks. Jack Rabbit actually mentioned that he had an injury at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He doesn't like talking about injuries. He goes, but I'm getting over it now. I feel better. His play has showed that. I thought he was excellent yesterday, Jerry.
Yep. Very
physical against the run, too. Jack Rabbit, nobody ever talks about that, but just watch Jack Rabbit against the run. He sticks his head in there, man. He'll come up and make a tackle on you. He's not Deion Sanders going to run away from an edge run. You know what I mean?
Hey, I was going to say one more thing. Giants fan online at NYG fans online, the guy who really supports us. I mean, he retweets everything we do. He puts us on his website. He's really supportive. He said, if you guys do a Giants buffoon of the year, my vote goes to Curtis Riley. So I just wanted to give him a shout out for that because it's pretty creative. Listen,
yeah, I'm not gonna go there, Jerry, because of a guy's performance.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. And And listen, the Giants Online guy, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. But just to say something to him, I know he listens, just to say something that, he kind of threw it out there maybe that the Bears, Trubisky could have played yesterday, but they saved him for next week. And that doesn't really fly in the NFL. You see what happens, right? When you play a backup quarterback, and he made a lot of mistakes out there, Daniel, yesterday.
You don't think there was any truth to that?
No, I don't. Not at all.
Because the only reason I ask is Sam Darnold, I think, is healthy enough to play. And I think they're saving him. I do. I don't care what anybody.
I tell you what, Jerry, that was kind of mentioned that yesterday. Bowles kind of mentioned that, right? He actually kind of implied that a little bit.
I only say that because why would you play Sam Darnold and he's going to have to learn a whole new offense next year? It's almost like unlearn this completely.
Well, Jerry, I'll tell you what, Jerry, if that is true in Jetland, that just goes to show you why they're a buffoon organization. And Todd Bowles is a horrific head coach because this kid needs reps, Jerry. This kid needs reps. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
You're not going to the playoffs, right? You're not fighting for the last playoff spot, whatever it might be. You want the veteran because, this kid's got to get reps. I don't get it. Let him see different defenses. Let him see this. So he's good to go, but you're going to go with McCown because why? Because why? I mean, what would be the reason for that, Jerry? Yeah, if that is true, I
think because you don't want to ruin. Look, we don't want to talk about the Jets anymore, but I think some of it's because you don't want to ruin a young kid mentally, and then he's like the mess that Goff was his rookie year with Fisher. It's amazing he came back and made himself anything with McVay. So I just think some of it has to do with the situation they're in. If they have a bad team around them, whatever. I don't care.
Whatever, man. Listen. I just don't agree with it. I think a rookie kid should see more and more defenses, but whatever. That's their decision. Maybe that's why the Jets haven't never won a Super Bowl since dinosaurs were walking around. So hey, whatever. But I'm glad about our kid Barkley's getting all these snaps and doing his thing, bud. And Eli will be the quarterback probably next year, and we'll see what happens.
All right, buddy, on to Washington. All right, everybody, be sure to order your copy of the Giant Insider newspaper. Go to www.thegiantinsider.com and visit magster.com for a digital subscription. That's magzter.com. We have a new issue out printed last night. Should be on newsstands next day or so. Yearly subscriptions are $39.95 for paper copies, and the digital version is only $17 for a yearly subscription. 14 issues as we're bi-weekly during the season and monthly in the off-season. The next podcast will drop at 8 p.m. Thursday night, December 6th, where we preview the Redskins game, make our picks for week 14, and we take your Twitter questions, which is a lovely segment. I love it. I can't get enough of that one. Thanks for listening, everyone, to the Giant Insider podcast. I'm Jerry Foley. He's Chris Bizignano. And remember, guys, Sundays are Giant days, and the Giants are alive.
Take care, everybody.